Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I made these really cute and romantic Valentine's Day nails. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to get the best retention, as well as how I like to do nail art. First, I'm just taking a sanding band at a low speed to add some grit to the nail. This really helps the gel adhere to your nail. As you can see, I'm just doing a really quick work over it just to get that rough surface area. Now I'm going to be trying doing a dry cuticle work. I usually use cuticle remover, which is a liquid form, and then I cut the cuticle, but I feel like I always bleed, so today I'm trying to do it with a nail bit. And I'm just using this really pointy shape. I'll include everything in the description box below. This worked out really well. It helped remove the cuticle on my nail bed, but then also lift it, so I was able to cut it and I did not cut myself, so there was no bleeding. I'm also not showing it, but after every step from here on out, I am spraying my nails with isopropyl alcohol just to sanitize everything. I also have this makeup brush to dust off anything that's on my hands. I felt like that was an issue I've had before where there would just be like nail dust underneath my nails, and I didn't have that issue this time, so I really liked having a brush on hand. Now I'm just clipping at the cuticles, and the biggest tip for this is to try and do it in one piece. Don't like clip and then pull your hand away. I find that's the easiest way to cut yourself, or that the cuticle isn't fully detached and then you end up ripping some skin. But I just go really slowly for the prep steps. Now I am just taking some nail alcohol or nail dehydrator and covering the whole surface of the nail bed, but also underneath, just because there is little oils under there as well. And from this point on, you don't want to touch anything else, so like don't eat, don't like play around with stuff, go on your phone. You want your hands to be clean. I also find working each step both hands at a time helps me speed up. Sometimes I've tried just doing one hand at a time and I take forever, so I find just doing each step for both hands gets me moving a little bit quicker. Now I am sizing my nails. This step is pretty easy. You just want the nail extension to fit sidewall to sidewall. If it is bigger, just file down the side, and I use my drill bit for that, though you can just use a hand file as well. Most of them seem to fit me. I think it's just my thumbnail that always is a little bit bigger. I'm kind of in between sizes, so I just size up one and then file down the sides till it fits. And I'm using medium almond tips today. Now I'm going to be drilling the underside of the nail tip, just roughening up the surface of it. I used to do this with primer, but I feel like that was my issue in not having good retention. I would have my nails on for like more than 2 weeks, but throughout that process, like 1 or 2 nails would pop off and I'd have to like glue it on. And I saw a video where this girl was doing no primer and she was just roughening it up with her drill bit, so I'm trying that out, and so far I'm almost at 2 weeks and I haven't had any pop off, so I am thinking that this is how I will do it moving forward. Now I'm just taking a nail glue or a base gel and just doing a nice thin layer on my natural nail. This is going to help the tip glue to your nails. So I do 1 layer and then I cure it, and then I put some on the nail tip and then put the tip on my finger and then cure it. But I just find that this helps a little bit longer and they feel more secure. For this, I just do 1 hand, and then once all the tips are on 1 hand, then I move on to the other one. That way I don't accidentally touch like semi-cured gel. And then I have this little gooseneck lamp, and as you can see, I put gel on kind of like the whole area of where my nail would be, and then you're supposed to do like a little droplets at the base, and that just kind of helps fill it in, so you'll see the apex of the nail, and that's kind of where that extra gel goes. I've gotten a lot quicker at this. I'm telling you, when I first started I was really slow, getting gel all over me, but you kind of learn how much gel you need and it can go really quickly. So I'll cure it on the little gooseneck lamp for about 20 to 30 seconds, then it'll be stayed, but then I'll do my whole hand in the big lamp for 90 seconds. If you do get any gel on your hand, make sure that you wipe it off before curing it, otherwise you can be at risk to having an allergy. The more practice you have, the easier it gets, I promise, and you'll get better and quicker. Also try to leave a little bit of space between where my cuticle bed is as well as where I'm putting the nail. I find that having that little space helps me in the next step when I try to flatten out the nail edge as much as possible so it feels cohesive with my natural nails. Now this is another tip that I learned from watching some videos, but I have very downturned curved nails and I feel like that it leads to my nails popping off. So what I'm doing is taking this little nail art brush and I'm just filling in the edges where it doesn't really seem like my nail is quite beating the gel extension. And I really think that that has helped in my nails retaining. That's definitely something I'll carry forward. Next up is probably my favorite part besides nail art, is where you want to work on the cuticle area of the gel extension. I didn't show much of it because I didn't get a good angle, but you pretty much just take that little skinny bit again and you want to make sure that the edges and where the nail meets your cuticle is flat. It feels as flat as possible. You don't want to drill into your natural nails. And then I'm just taking a bigger band and I am sanding the surface of the nail so it's no longer shiny. And again, before this step and after this step, I am sanitizing with rubbing alcohol. This also really helps me with my retention, is now taking a pretty wide brush and then dipping it into acetone, and I just do this around my cuticle area so that you're kind of melting the tip to fit on your nail. Once it's really smooth from the drill bit, this really just locks it in and keeps it nice. And then again, I am using the isopropyl alcohol at the end. 2 rounds of the acetone. I just really like how making sure that everything is stuck and as flat as possible around the cuticle area, but I think 1 layer should be sufficient. Another thing that I wanted to try out, I did one hand with builder gel and one without to see if that's helping at all, and so far it hasn't really made much of a difference, but the one with the builder gel just has a bit of an apex, or I guess a stronger apex compared to the other hand. And I'm just taking a clear builder gel, though it would probably be best to use like a tinted one, and I create the slip layer, which is first a thin layer, and then you do another layer without curing in between, and then you kind of shape the nail. So then putting it upside down kind of helps use gravity to form that apex, and then you cure it. It's my first time trying this, but I am curious to see if it really does make a difference or not. And now on to the nail art. So after the builder gel, even curing it, your nails will be a bit sticky or tacky. You don't want to rub that off, you just go straight into the nail art or whatever gel color you're using. So for that, I did do just one hand at a time. So I want to do these fun Valentine's Day nail art, so most fingers will be either different or just a different color combination. So I'm using this red, and I thought it'd be much more opaque than it is. It did take quite a few layers as well as the white, but I think these turned out really great. I get a little slow when it comes to nail art because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I do one nail at a time, and then I like to clean up the cuticle area as well as take a small detail brush to get the side of the nails. I think it just always looks so much better and more professional when I do that. I'm just doing my base color first, and then we'll get into the fun nail art. So this is the white. It, again, wasn't very opaque, though I tried to get the most opaque I could find. Also really thick. It kind of felt like whiteout, so I can't really recommend this white. I mean, it looks fine, and it doesn't look like any foggy or anything after a few weeks, but it was really thick. So again, I'm just being very detailed with this. I feel like the nail art and the prep both take the longest for me, but I definitely have gotten quicker. The last time I did my nails with detailed art, it took me about 6 hours. This time it took me 4, so we're improving. Next, I'm also using blooming gel for the first time. I thought this was really fun and I'm excited to try out more combinations of this because it's really cute. Though I feel like some of the colors weren't spreading as well, like the red. So I'm just using a little dotting brush or a dotting tip and just putting little different size dots onto the blooming gel. And I felt like it wasn't spreading, so I did add a few more, and then when I cured it, I felt like it was, or before I cured it, I just felt like it really wasn't what I wanted. The red like really bloomed out and looked kind of muddy on the white, so I did end up wiping some of it off, but I really like the end result. And again, I just like to take precautions and make sure that I wipe the sides just to make sure that there is no gel on my skin. Even if it's like a clear polish, sometimes you can't see it or feel it, but I just want to be safe. After I cured, I'm doing another layer on the blooming gel, so I did another coat of the blooming gel and then I'm taking a different color to kind of stipple on there. And I really liked how those nails came out, but again, I am excited to play around with it and get better at using the blooming gel because I felt like some didn't like spread out and then others did, so I'll figure it out. And then for the other nails, I just did some little stripes and some heart designs, and I really like how these came out. And then once again as the last step, I am spraying with that alcohol. I just put it in a different bottle. I didn't have a spray bottle to put it in, so I just went through my empties and found a bottle. And after this, I am just making sure to wash my hands and moisturize them because they've been through a lot. But I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!